The Prime Minister walking out on the nation's veterans, departing early from events commemorating the 80th anniversary of D-Day, rushing back to the UK to record a TV campaign interview, leaving the Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron to stand with the world leaders instead. And the leader of the opposition too, in the middle of an election campaign, this a question of judgment.
Can you explain why yesterday you prioritised a campaign TV interview over the opportunity to commemorate those who gave everything for our country in June 1944? You left early. What were you thinking?
Over the past 2 days, I've participated in a number of events in Portsmouth and France to honour those who risked their lives to defend our freedom and our values 80 years ago. The itinerary for these events was set weeks ago, before the start of the general election campaign, and having participated in all the British events with British veterans, I returned home before the International Leaders event later in the day. On reflection, that was a mistake, and I apologise. I think it's important, though, given the enormity of the sacrifice made, that we don't politicise this.
It's men like Ken Hay the Prime Minister chose to leave behind. He was just 18 when he landed on the beaches of Normandy. He was later captured, forced to work in a Polish coal mine, and subjected to the infamous 1,000-mile-long march. His anger is not political.
I think he lets the country down. What are we doing? We bail out, let them get on with it. Because I want to stand in the election, I want my seat back. How soon long before they forget? Are we a 5-minute wonder? It'll all be forgotten next week, I don't know.
Ken Hay, a 98-year-old D-Day veteran, told us that you let the country down. Is he right?
I participated in events both in Portsmouth and in France over 2 days because this is an incredibly important moment for our country to commemorate the sacrifice of all of those and their service. And it was a real honour and a privilege to meet many veterans and speak to them and their families, hear their stories, express my gratitude to them, and build on our record of making sure that this is the best country in the world for veterans.
Prime Minister, you didn't care, did you?
No, I cared deeply.
Then why didn't you stay?
As I said, the itinerary for these events was set weeks ago, before the general election campaign. I participated in events both in Portsmouth and in France, and having fully participated in all the British events with British veterans, I returned home before the International Leaders event. That was a mistake, and I apologise for that.
You feel no shame at all?
As I said, on reflection, it was a mistake not to stay longer, and I've apologised for that. But I also don't think it's right to be political in the midst of D-Day commemorations. The focus should rightly be on the veterans and their service and sacrifice for our country.
It's the veterans who are saying that you're letting the country down. Are they politicising this?
No, I've apologised for not staying longer. On reflection, that was a mistake.
Hello. A difficult exchange with a PM in crisis. There is real fury from his own side. One candidate told me this shows the PM doesn't understand patriotism. Another said this is the biggest moment of the campaign so far.
Could the campaign get any worse, Prime Minister? That's the Prime Minister leaving after a very tense interview. Veterans are upset. His candidates are furious. And to the question of, well, can it get worse? There's no answer at the moment.
Ministers can't defend this.
Undoubtedly, veterans will feel pretty raw over this, and I don't dispute that, and I totally understand. And you know, personally, it's a bit crushing, yes, but it is what it is, and it's happened.
This man's return was already panicking Conservative candidates. Their problems may have just got even worse.
If he's not prepared to go to the international commemoration with the heads of so many different countries, overlooking a beach in which our American allies lost thousands of men, that says a lot about him. He is completely disconnected from the centre of this country, and he's proved to me that he basically is not a patriotic leader of the Conservative Party.
So we have to keep going, do we?
On a day like today, a question he could be forgiven for asking, learning lessons the hard way. At a school located on Veterans Way. His problems follow him down every road. Sam Coates, Sky News, Swindon.